All right, let's do this.
911, where is the emergency?
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number.
Yeah, that's really not going to help me. I need to know where you are.
Have you ever wondered why your GPS can't quite find you in a 15-story condo after you've dialed 911? And what the heck is PNT? And what does it mean? Well, buckle up, because you're about to find out. And that's coming up next on TiPS, Today in Public Safety.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Here's your host, Fletch, with today's tips.
Welcome to TiPS, Today in Public Safety. This is Fletch. I'm a certified NENA ENP, and every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday I bring you the latest news and information about public safety and next-generation 911 services and solutions. Today we'll be talking about why location is still the holy grail of emergency response, even in the age of smartphones and satellites. 240 million 911 requests. Location matters. NENA, the National Emergency Number Association, says 911 call takers handle about 240 million emergency calls per year. Most of those still come in by phone, but many now get your texts, apps, and even social media. Yet despite on how it comes in, the most critical piece is location. Accurate and reliable location. Landlines in the glory days. You know, back in the day, your landline told dispatch, the caller's at 123 Maple Street. Perfect. And that was because ANI, or Automatic Number Identification, 911's special form of caller ID, was golden. No guesswork, no somewhere near the old Applebee's, just clear, we know where you are. Then, along with parachute pants and disco, came the 80s, and cell phones shook things up a bit. Cellular telephones were the roots of number portability. That means your phone's number no longer was tied to your zip code or street. So ANI lost more and more of its mojo, and suddenly, emergency service could no longer assume location based on your number. Next generation 911 and the band-aided model for location. Despite the urgency, we kept the old model liming along. We kept slapping makeshift fixes onto the network, and IP telephony using software patches and piecemeal upgrades tried to make a difference. But without full next-generation 911 rollout, half of the solutions out there still used phone numbers under the covers at the core of the solution. And that meant guessing your position, despite it being barely accurate. You might think GPS was the silver bullet. In fact, I hear all the time, just use your GPS, duh! But hold on to your horses. GPS is just part of PNT, position, navigation, and timing. And guess what? It's all based on radio waves from satellites that are 22,236 miles away. Thanks, Mr. Wizard. So that means built-in accuracy trickiness. And that's where PNT 101 comes into play. Here's how it works. Radio signals zip through the air and space at the speed of light. That's a fixed, known speed. So if you measure on how long it took to reach you, boom, you know the distance. And if you do that from multiple radio transmitters, you're able to triangulate your exact spot. Voila, location. In fact, it's high precision location, down to meters or even millimeters. And that can make all the difference in the world. But it's about the transmitter, not about where it is. Now, satellites do an amazing job, but these radio signals from space can get confused by buildings, trees, or even jammers. And they're ultra-sensitive because they're so far away, and the signal is weak. Local transmitters located at cell towers or beacons in buildings can actually provide crisper, more reliable indoor accuracy. And that's a topic that I dug into in my latest blog, published last week on Fletch.tv. So why now? Well, the FCC is watching. Not with black trucks running up and down the street with darked out windows, but in an open docket on 911 location accuracy. They've currently got a Notice of Inquiry, or NOI, and they're asking for public and industry input. It's how they gather information, and what they want to know is how do we improve 911 location accuracy. Satellite? Terrestrial? Maybe a mix of the two? Or maybe somebody's got some new technology up their sleeve, just over the horizon. They're going to use these responses to formulate an official NPRM, and that's a Notice of Proposed Rulemaking. which is the birth of new legislation. But here's the important thing. Your voice counts. Everyone's voice matters. Whether you're a technologist, a dispatcher, a policy geek, or just plain old concerned citizen, the FCC is interested in collecting every perspective. That includes techies, public safety pros, and even regular folks. So here's your chance, no matter who you are, to shape the future of emergency communications and 911. So what do? Easy. First, you form an opinion, and then you share your views by writing a comment. And that's easily done at fcc.gov on their website. Do we lean into GPS? Do we invest in local beacons? Do we push cell carriers harder? What's at risk is your future safety, and your life may depend on it. That wraps up this episode of TiPS Today in Public Safety. I hope you learned something new today, and now you know why location still rules the emergency world. If you like what you heard today, please drop a like and be sure to tell your friends. And don't forget to leave a comment and let me know. If you have any questions or just want to suggest a topic of your own, reach out to me on social media at Fletch911. Who knows, maybe your idea will be the next core of a future podcast. And a special shout out to Erica Lakey, ENP, who's the Emergency Communications Assistant Manager at Metro Orlando Fire in Central Florida, for being my go-to 911 call taker voiceover talent. Recorded live from her daughters Reagan and Aubrey's jiu-jitsu competition at the Jiu-Jitsu World League in Florida. I'm sure she raises a lot of eyes when she does that in public. Thanks for stopping in today. I really appreciate you listening. And if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every single day. This is Fletch. We'll catch you next time. Take care.
You've been listening to TiPS Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on 911tips.com. That's 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG 911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10 spot, and on the Weekend Countdown on Hits 1. Or don't regret for the rest of your life. Either way, I'm good.